deep, no ecstasy. Reality haunts the living mind. If I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, thinking off about the same mistake. Darling, when you go away, won't be as simple for you.
Oh dear. Spurs to Manchester United to. I mean, I know the title says bottle jobs, and we did bottle it. We did bottle it. Oh, what do you say, guys? What do you say? Spurs were there for the kill. I'm actually going to be, well, before we get into it, if you need to chime to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio, follow us on Twitter, United X, smash the notification button, etc. But I'm going to be controversial and say that yes, well, I appreciate that we bottled it in the second half. I actually don't think United played that well over the 90 minutes, to be honest. Yes, I know, shout out to James Sancho's goal and Rashford, etc., and cut through, but I actually don't think United played that well today, and it's been an issue away from home all season. Toman so exactly, Toman. Well said. Thank you for joining in, Toman. Exactly. But what I would just say is that I just don't think. I think that we played okay in the first half. I don't think we. Why I say this is like, if you compare this game to when we played Spurs at Old Trafford, when we absolutely battered them. They couldn't come out, and that was with Conte. Conte Spurs at Old Trafford, we battered them. It was arguably the best I've seen United play all season. I compare that to this game and go, okay, yes, so we've got a bit more control. We've got a bit of control in the midfield. Great goal by Sancho. Great goal by Rashford. And you're thinking, okay, we can. But that 2-0, and again, this kind of like recurrent thing of like again with Sevilla at Old Trafford, that 2-0, that letting teams come back into the game, inviting them, dropping off in the second half. The changes, as in Atonement said, that really didn't add anything really. I mean, I will go through them in a second. I think we have 1 point against the top 9 away. Yeah, exactly. Our away form this week has been, we've not beaten. I mean, in fact, let's quickly. Quickly have a look at that. Let me just quickly have a look. Okay. Yeah, we lost to Arsenal away, lost to City away, lost to Newcastle away, drew with Spurs. I think we lost to Villa away, lost to Liverpool away. We haven't played Brighton yet. Yeah, I think that's 8. We did beat. Did we? No, we lost to Brentford away. Yeah, we beat Brentford at home. We lost to Brentford away. Yeah, the top 9. Spurs, Fulham. We beat Fulham at home, if I remember. So yeah, we haven't beaten a single. We'll see about Brighton, but I have doubts for that Brighton game, if I'm perfectly honest. But yeah, we haven't. We haven't at all, which is incredibly bad, and we need to improve that. And some of that is based on. I'll be honest. Some of that is based on the squad that we have. Shout out to AD in the chat, man. Hope you're doing well, AD. Some of that is actually based on the squad, the lack of depth, etc., etc. I don't think that it's not. I don't think it's all necessarily Ten Hag's fault. But at the same time, our mentality has to be better. Ten Hag's engagement has to be better. The substitutions that we brought on this day, I actually, there's a lot of people going around that are going to giving Fred a jip this game, which I think is a bit. Which I agree, Fred had an awful game, but we didn't lose this game because of Fred. Okay, we didn't lose this game because of Fred. We didn't. Let's keep it stacked. And Fred was barely involved against Sevilla in both games. And I would argue that Sevilla away game is the worst I've seen Manchester United play. So let's not go in about, oh, Fred is this, Fred is that, Fred is that. Eriksen was crap against Sevilla. And he wasn't that great against Brighton on the weekend either. So let's let's just relax on it's this person's fault, it's this person's fault. It was collectively, it wasn't a great performance. And unfortunately, the substitutions that came on the second half didn't really add anything. I thought it was a bad idea. Personally, I thought taking Sancho off wasn't great. And again, Ten Hag's in-game management, bringing off Martial. Martial didn't really contribute much, but you've got to give him game time. You've got to give him legs because we're going to need him going forward. So I get it in a sense. I thought taking out Aaron Wan-Bissaka was a bad idea, considering if you look at that second goal, the second goal's on the right. Like Wan-Bissaka, I love Dalot, and this will say, oh, Wan-Bissaka's. I remember seeing on Twitter, oh, Wan-Bissaka's having a bad game. Wan-Bissaka, Dalot for Wan-Bissaka is great. And then what happens? Dalot gets done by Son on the second goal. There you go. So this is what I'm trying to say, guys. Everyone wants to try and blame players, but collectively, it wasn't a good performance. We did bottle it. However, the most important thing is that we didn't lose. Because quite frankly, it was Spurs need to win this game, in my opinion, if they wanted to secure top four. Because Spurs are going to, I think they're going to Anfield, I think this weekend. They're going to lose at Anfield. Spurs are going to lose at Anfield. So I'm not really concerned. I've said this before a while. Let me just quickly ultimately, our defense is not good enough to see out games, and our attack's not good enough to kill off games. Well, to be fair, Atoman, we're losing. In defense of this team, right? We're playing our first choice left back at centre back. We've got two of our best centre backs are out in Varane and Martinez, who are deeply missed. We're playing our first choice centre back at left back, and we're essentially playing a makeshift back four. Really. So I don't expect our defense to be playing on full cylinders when it's been a makeshift. But one of our big things, as you says, our attack's not good enough to kill off games. Yes, because we're relying on Weghorst. United aren't scoring enough goals. We're not Chelsea level bad in terms of not scoring enough goals, but the first half against Sevilla, first half here, if we had a potent clinical striker, even someone like Cavani, whatever you say about Cavani and Ronaldo, if we created those chances we did in the first against Sevilla, both of those players put most of those chances away, or at least one or two of them away. So we are missing that clinical striker. And I think that once the sale is over, the priority in the summer has to be getting a number 9. That's the priority over anything. We have to get. I'd argue we probably have to get 2 strike. For me, if it was me, I'd get your starting number 9 and a backup. Because right now our number 9 is Weghorst, who's not being renewed. He's going back on loan. Martial, who's inconsistent and is barely fit, and then Rashford kind of subs in. But Martial and Rashford, to be honest to me, have never been. They are not the level. We need a number 9 that's at the level of or close to a Haaland, an Osimhen. Someone who is going to compete for top 5 golden boots. Every season. We need that. AD, I see you back. I'll bring you in. Just give me a second to cook. We need that, and that's what Manchester United's been missing this season. So you get one strike and you get another maybe young and up and coming to deputy. That's what I would do. We need to sign at least 2. United need to sign at least two strikers, because I don't even think 1 is good enough. You can't rely on Martial being fit. And Weghorst is not going to be here next season. So you need one strike. You need the actual striker to have replaced Ronaldo, really. And then you need someone to step in for him in case he gets injured. Or an understudy will say, you can't allow Martial to be that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think that we need us to go on the strike. We need to prioritize that. 2-0 up Manchester, take some blame for dropping points, making these. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, the Wan-Bissaka one was interesting because a lot of United fans were saying Wan-Bissaka was having a bad game. And I was like, yes, he's having a bad game, but he's still arguably the best 1v1 defender in the world. It's difficult to get past him. At the end of the day, like, you know, and then Dallo comes on, it's like, right, it's been schooled. You know, come on. Shout out to SMB in the chat. You're doing well, buddy. What happened to Fred today? I don't know what happened to Fred today. He had a bad game. But I don't blame Fred for both goals. And at the end of the day, like, I'm seeing a lot of United. I actually like Fred. I think that, but I never like this idea where, like, when a player that people have an agenda against has a bad game, everyone seems to blame the whole thing on that particular player, which I don't like. He wasn't responsible for both goals, but he wasn't great. I give you that. But to be honest, he didn't play much against Sevilla, and we were crap. He didn't play. Did he play against? I don't think he played against Anfield. You know, so we can't sort of say, "Oh, Fred, this is like." No, what are the other players doing? And also, why is it that and going to the attackers, because Rashford and Martial weren't doing that. I know Rashford scored the goal, but in the second half they dropped off completely, and Martial came on, didn't contribute anything. So we can't. So, you know, a Haaland or City, they're like, yeah, they get the third, they get the fourth, they see off the game. 2-0 is a dangerous result, and like I said against Sevilla, if you put 4 past Sevilla Old Trafford, it doesn't matter what they do at home. It doesn't matter what they do at home. Their morale is, they'll serve completely different. It doesn't matter. You know? We need 2 strikers. Yeah, exactly. Well, that depends on the ownership. And that's why late tonight, Transfer Tom, who was, if you catch the show, if any of you caught the show on Monday with Transfer Tom, we're talking about the takeover. There is big news coming about the takeover tomorrow. We're going to be live from hopefully 9:30, and we're going to discuss the upcoming news from the takeover, because, like, that's why I'll be honest with you, like, I'm not really focused that much on this game, because, to be honest, the biggest news is going to be what the hell is going to happen with this takeover. Because on the one hand, you've got Sheikh, who is going to give us the new ticket, and on the other, we're hearing that Sir Jim potentially is happy to only buy out the Glazer siblings and to keep Avrams in charge. So, you know, the biggest thing for me is what is going to happen with the future Manchester United going forward, managing-wise. Because if it's a Glazer-Sir Jim combination, don't expect a striker, let alone 2. So there you go. Do you think this is a midfield going forward? Yeah, I'm not sure. But no. Well, this is the thing, SSB. I keep on telling people is that, like, United lost about 7 or 8 players that they didn't replace. You know, we lost Cavani, we lost Pogba, we lost Ronaldo, we lost Greenwood, we lost Mata, we lost Lingard, we lost Matic, and we've only replaced them with Anthony, Casemiro, Ericsson, who was really a free, and that's it. I'm not counting Weghorst and Sabitzer because they're on loan. You know, so at the end of the day, like, this if it was up to me, United need to sign 2 strikers. They need to sign 2 midfielders, ideally a ball playing a carrier, someone like Pogba to replace Pogba, and another holding midfielder like Sabitzer, for example. And then we need to sign another centre back, plus or minus another right back, depending on how things are. That's not going to happen. If United don't make top 4, how bad do you think that'll be for United RDS? I think it will be. Shout out to Antonio, man. It will be bad because in order for that to happen, United form the next what? I mean, in fact, you're making a good point, Antonio. So let me quickly just let's quickly just look at the table here. Okay, so obviously United have 60 points. Newcastle, shout out to Newcastle, by the way. You know, I think Newcastle fairly. I think. I mean, geez, they destroyed Everton and Spurs, man. It was just, yeah, they destroyed them. So I think that I think the top three. I don't think that I think Newcastle will be too good. So I think the top four, in my opinion, is going to stay the same. I think Arsenal, City, Newcastle are going to be fine. When you look at the top four now, the key thing really is the fact that United still have 2 games in hand over Spurs and Villa, and 1 over Liverpool. So, but also they only have 5 games left. There's only 5 games left. So the maximum that Villa and Spurs can get is 15 points, which means that if I add that to 10, that's what, 64, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically 69 points. So and again, bearing in mind, Spurs and Villa have to win all of their games to get up to 69 points. And Spurs are playing Liverpool at the weekend and playing Anfield. And then United only need 10 points. If United gets 70 points essentially from their last up to 7 points, which is 10 points from their last 7 games, they've got top 4. So that's 10 points out of 21. Are we saying this United side can't get 10 points from Villa at home, Brighton away, Wolves at home, West Ham away, Bournemouth away, Chelsea, at home, and Fulham at home? 10 points out of 21. I don't know. I think and so that's why I said that if United don't get top 4, you're right, Antonio. If they'd have to bottle it hard, it would be bad. It'd be a disaster. It would be a disaster, because you're telling me that United can't get 10 points from the last 21. No, that should be. If looking at these fixtures, even if we lose to Brighton, okay, Villa are good. Let's get a draw at Villa. You beat Wolves at home. That's 4 points. You beat Bournemouth away. That's 7 points. Can we beat Chelsea? Okay, yeah, we beat Chelsea at home, 10 points, and then Fulham at home. You likely beat Fulham at home, so that's 13 points. Even if we drop a draw to Chelsea, so nah, I think I'm still fairly confident the United they'll get 4th, is what I think anyway. United, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like if they were to do it, it would be bad, because it would mean that like you somehow were not able to get 10 points from your last 21 games. That's why. So I agree with you. It would be awful. It'd be bad. United blowing 2-goal leads, turning into Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, what I would say though, Raul, is that United better not finish ahead of Arsenal. I don't think it's possible, but I mean, the way that Arsenal are dipping, it's crap. It's crap. I'll just read his comments, and then AD, I'm going to bring you in. I feel like no one accepted United to make top 4 the beginning of the season. Exactly, and I was one of them, Antonio. But now they have a chance to seriously put some gap on some teams, and now they might be put in position of no season. So yeah, I thought that they finished 5th. I thought they would finish 5th. I didn't think that they would get top 4. But I think that I don't think anyone anticipated how hard to keep it stack. Spurs are always Spurs. You never know. So, you never know. I think that no one anticipated how bad Chelsea were going to be this season. That's the difference. Spurs, yeah, they're rare. They usually are. Let's keep it a stack. Yes, Liverpool are struggling. But yeah, I just don't think people expected Chelsea to be where they were. I think Chelsea's fall is probably the biggest contributing factor to the whole thing. So yeah, that's what I think. I like Fred, says Raul. Truly speaking, Manchester hasn't replaced Scholes. You need someone like him, but I don't think. Yeah. No player just does that's like Scholes. We've not replaced a lot of players. You could argue we've not replaced our last great number 9, which was Van Persie, and that was what, almost 10 years ago. As I say, in Barcelona, it's kind of because you can't play Spurs like especially when they are go to play in a position. Yeah, of course. You can have it scores, but you can dream though. You can dream. United will get I read that. Don't forget other teams. Yes, so that's what I'm saying here. That's obviously the main other reason, because we're making the assumption that Spurs, Villa, and Liverpool are all going to win their games. They're not, because they play each other for starters, and two, it's just the Premier League. I mean, if I just look at, like, say, Spurs figures, let's have a look and see what Spurs will do. For example, so Spurs have 5 games. They'll lose to Liverpool at Anfield. Crystal Palace at home, I think, can go either way. Villa away, I actually think they'll lose. Because I don't think Spurs will play that great. Brentford at home, again, could go either way. Brentford have been quite strong this season. And Leeds away, they'll probably win. So already in these last 5 games, I think West Ham's a different game. I can already see they're not going to win these last 5. They may. The only guarantee one I see is probably Leeds away. Villa. Let's have a look. Sorry, guys. Villa, who are the other rivals, obviously they play us. So I think if United beat Villa at home, I think that should probably see out the issue. Wolves away, you don't know. Spurs again could go either way, but they probably might win that maybe because they're at home. Liverpool away, again, probably going to lose that. Liverpool, Anfield, and then Brighton. So you look at the fixtures that Villa and Spurs have, and it's like, really and truly, I just don't see both of those teams winning all their fixtures. So as disappointing as this result was, to not sort of put some distance on top 4, I still think there's enough from this team to say, actually, you know what? We're done it. We're done it. I'm so tired of challenging for top 4 season. Can we just have a league title to race? I know. I want to see Manchester United back in the UCL so they can be in the same group as possible. I get eventually Messi being back. But come on, Antonio. I think that, if I'm honest, I think it's a bad idea to get Messi back. I think that with what we need to I don't know. I think they're going to be going back to where they were towards the end of Messi's tenure there, because now you're going to go back to relying on one player to bail you out instead of strengthening the team, and and then on top of that, with the wages, are you going to really be able to improve the rest of your team? I don't think so. So I don't know. I think it's a bit difficult. No one expected Liverpool, Chelsea to be bad. No one expected Newcastle to be so good this year. Yeah, exactly. Arsenal and Newcastle doing their thing. But Newcastle, yeah. I mean, Newcastle going from relegation to top 4 in one season is mad. I don't know why people aren't speaking about it enough. Like, I can't remember the last time a team went from. I know Leicester won the league, won the Premier League, and went from there, but they petered off. But here you can clearly see it's the manner, because Leicester won the league, but they won the league a lot with 1-0s, and they're kind of able to sort of grind results. The manner in which Newcastle are playing is what's different. Like, you scoring like 11 goals in 2 games. The manner in which they're putting away teams, that's what's impressed me. Not so much their position, but the fact that, like, they're forced to be reckoned with. Anyway, last comment from before I go to bring in AD. Let's talk about Max. Yeah, they were. Isak is, shout out to my La Liga buddies in the chat, man. But Isak, man, baller. In fact, speaking of La Liga, let me actually bring in AD now. And I'll actually ask him about that. Let me. AD, sorry if you're waiting there. How you doing?
Yeah. I'm a little busy this week, so I won't be able to stay for
No worries, man. Just a quick thing, actually, before we come to United. Just because obviously one of the comments about, I'll bring it up actually. So it was about not that. Sorry, this one, yeah, here. Are you surprised that Isak is balling in the Premier League with Newcastle? Like, does it surprise you? I mean, having watched him briefly in La Liga, like, is this, or do you think it's the team suits to his strengths, or the manager, or like what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I always rated Isak. I've never I never really understood why a lot of La Liga fans and other fans have been critical. I think he's a very
Mm,
technical player, which is very nice to
mm,
see. He's just not a goal scorer.
mm,
He's just not just a goal scorer, because nowadays a lot of strikers
mm,
just score goals. They don't really have technique,
mm,
you know.
mm,
And that's what I
mm,
like about Isak is that he has that. So yeah, I mean, for me, I knew he was I knew this would be a good transfer. I just didn't think he'd be this good this season. Like I thought it would take him like a
mm,
few seasons for him to be established,
mm,
kind of like what Jack Grealish is at Manchester City.
mm,
It took a
mm,
few
mm,
seasons for
mm,
him to finally show what he's made of.
mm,
So yeah, I
mm,
mean,
mm.
for me, it's like I'm surprised, but I'm also not surprised. If that makes any sense. Like I'm
Okay.
surprised how fast is quickly adapted, but I'm not surprised at how
Okay.
amazing he's been so far. That makes any sense.
Fair. Fair. Okay, and just obviously your just thoughts on this game and how it happened, Ten Hag, United, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a huge. I think I originally predicted a draw for this game, like a 1-1, and I was surprised I even got a draw right because United, man, it felt like, as you said, Spurs came alive and they woke up. And that's the thing I've noticed with Spurs. That generally the second half they tend to show up. I remember in the what was it called, the North London derby against Arsenal. I know they didn't score in the end, but in the second half they were very good. Arsenal were just holding on. They were parking the bus. Ramsdale had to make a lot of saves. And I think even against like what was it called? I think Liverpool earlier in the season where they lost at home. They came alive the second half. It's like the first half they're just really really bad in general. So I think for United, this is a really costly 2 points drop because now, even though I do think you guys will get top four, it makes the wait longer, mathematically speaking, and it puts more pressure. So as for Spurs, I mean, I don't think they'll get. I the fight back was nice, but I don't think this will be enough to get top four because for me, Newcastle looking really good. I even trust Brighton and Villa more, and for Tottenham, this might be a crucial point for them to get like because at the way they're playing, man, they may not even get European football. Like with how Liverpool have been good. So yeah, I think your muted already is.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Yeah, it's just like, as great as Spurs wouldn't come back, I just think it's almost like a little bit too late. So, and to be honest, like it's still only a point. They probably need to beat Manchester United to kind of maybe make it happen. But you know, they lost to obviously to Bournemouth at the last minute.
Yeah.
They got spanked by Newcastle. Okay, a point against United, great, but then now going to Liverpool, Anfield at Liverpool. Season and chat with the way that Liverpool are playing and at Anfield as a fortress, I really don't think Spurs are going to beat Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah, and
At
they'll be lucky to
best,
get a
they'll
point.
get a draw. Sorry?
They'll be lucky to get a point there, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be lucky to get a point. So that's why I agree with you. I mean, when I say I wasn't scared of Spurs, it's more like I just think that consistency Spurs this season just have not been good enough. And then your other top four rivals are Villa and Liverpool. And even though I think Liverpool's fixture, I think Liverpool can actually win all their last couple of games. But I just think that United only need to get 10 points from their last 21 points, which is basically 3 wins and a draw from their last 7 games. And so basically they can afford to lose at least 3 games.
Yeah.
So what is the likelihood? What is the likelihood? And then that's assuming that Spurs, Villa, and Liverpool win all of their games, which are not going to. So yeah, it's annoying. And so when I was reflecting on this, I'm like, this result is annoying, but in the grand schemes of the top 4, it's more about, as you said, it not a cemented top 4 than actually not getting it. Because really and truly, if anything, this is actually on Spurs. Because if Spurs actually want to get top 4, they actually need to win this game.
Yeah, they needed to win.
They need to win. So if anything, this is more of a disappointing result for Spurs than it is for United. And I think it's interesting because when I reflect and look at it, I'm like, this is where I think both the two clubs are right now. Because as United fan, I'm like, this is disappointing. But it's like, but actually, an away draw to Spurs of where we are and getting top 4 is actually good. With Spurs, they're like, oh, this is great. We've got the point we came back. It's amazing. But the reality is it doesn't make them close to top 4. And it doesn't replace the fact that they got spanked by Newcastle 6-1.
it's like both clubs feel like they could have won this game,
Yeah,
and then in some ways, and it's kind of like Liverpool Arsenal and that game earlier this season where
yeah,
Liverpool came back. It's very similar to that game, you know.
yeah. No, exactly, exactly. Let me just quickly read some comments and go. Shout out to Christian in the chat, man. Hope you're doing well. Hola, buddy. Hola, buddy. I hopefully gonna be going on that stream. I want to. I'll message Roy because I want to go on the Milan Derby stream. I want to watch the CL Milan Derby with you guys. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be
Ooh.
great. Villa not playing UCL football. Peace, people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Come on, guys.
Well, I mean, even if they get Europa League, I still think it's an amazing achievement. Obviously, Champions
Oh
would be
yeah,
better.
oh yeah, yeah. Of course. I mean, don't keep it stacked with what Emery's done for Villa. Given when they were at the bottom of the league, it's amazing. It's amazing. So if Villa get European football this season, it's amazing. So, but I think that people are pushing it when they're saying that Brighton and Villa are going to get. I mean, even Brighton. I mean, they lost to was it?
Forced.
It was Forest. I think 3-1. So this is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's like everyone that says that Villa or Brighton or whoever it is team is going to surpass United, they have to bear in mind that all those teams have to win all of their remaining games. Bearing in mind United have two games in hand over those teams anyway.
I think Brighton have some games in hand, I think.
Oh yeah, so except for Brighton, yeah, Brighton have quite a few games in hand. If I recall, Brighton have 30. So yeah, Brighton, yeah. So I think they've got 8 games to play. So I think even if they won their next game to be the same points as United, they would still be 8 points behind Manchester United. You know, so yeah, it is what it is. Let's have a look. Manchester United is shaky now. Oh, I see. Todd Josh, who's a Spurs fan. I'm going to bring you in a second, buddy.
Ooh.
Man United is shaky now, but at least it's a point and not a loss. Exactly, says Christian. Heard Bruno missed it wasn't really a sitter. I don't think it was a sitter really because it came off the bar. And yeah, I don't think that's harsh. Newcastle next season is going exactly. They are. Newcastle look very. I think that Newcastle have got top 4 on lock with the way they're playing. I think the hope was that Newcastle would also drop some points and make it open. But I think Newcastle have got it on lock. I think they have.
Yeah.
I only say Messi comes back if the club can afford it and if it's a good move. We can't just rely on him. It's a good move. I just don't like how Messi in there. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the worry for me would just be that it would become like it was before he left. I mean, I don't know what you think. So, but I just think with this whole Messi's back to Barca thing that Barca would be regressing, not because Messi is a good player, but it's because we're going back to a situation where you're now going to be relying on Messi to score you goals, and that money will not be used to invest in other areas of the squad that are painstakingly weak. But I don't know what you think about the AD.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of also have a similar viewpoint to you, and I feel like even if we bring Messi back, I don't see us making like a lot of signs. I feel like they'll just think, "Oh, Messi bringing back is just fine. It'll just solve our issues." With reality, we need a lot of other players in the team. Like we need to get a right back, CDM, other positions. I could go on and on. And yeah, so yeah.
Hello.
Oh, Top George, how you doing? Thank you for joining the channel, man.
Good.
Appreciate it, buddy.
No worries. How are we doing?
Annoyed,
yeah,
but not pissed off. Pissed off was severe, but this is more of an annoyance more than anything. But I mean, but as obviously a Spurs fan, and obviously, you know, coming off of the, let's call it what it is, destruction, battling, whatever it is against Newcastle. How did you feel that the Spurs, your side, responded? Do you think that this is a change in direction, or is this just smoke and mirrors and hashtag Levy out?
Okay, well, I want to start off with number one, thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it, lads.
No problem.
Look, I think it was important for us to give a good response, whether it was us losing 1-0 or 2-0. I would still count that as a good response. You know, the fact is we lost 6-1 to Newcastle, coming into a big United game, and this is a game where, in my opinion, I think and I thought that you should have just killed the game first half. First half, kill it, done, finito, finished Tottenham. You should have finished us. Because I'll be completely honest with you, 3-0. We're not getting back from 3-0.
Yeah.
But I feel like tactically we've completely changed, and it's crazy how we changed in a couple training sessions. We just changed the whole way how we play. We came.
Mhm.
And we played more aggressive. Although I feel like at times there was a little bit gifted to us. You guys gifted us a lot,
Yeah.
which I think it wasn't something good from our opinion, from our point of view. Because when you gifted it to us, we didn't capitalize on
Mhm.
anything, absolutely nothing. The fact is, Dyer was in the middle of the box. He doesn't need to. It was harder to miss than to score. Honestly, it was that bad.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, you gifted Eric Dyer this open space free.
Mhm.
Although
Mhm.
you did have some excellent play with Rashford, though. Give you credit on that. Rashford absolutely good. I mean, yeah, he was not at his best, absolutely not. But I feel like Rashford was pretty good. He was on his when he needed to score, he scored. But I think as a team response, I think we played absolutely phenomenal. For a second half, first half diabolical. But yeah, that's really it from Spurs' response.
So just a quick question, just further. Thanks for coming. Because I always like to obviously have other fans and try and constantly get them on channel. So thank you so much for coming on and having
No
your
worries.
thoughts. Um, so how from this result, like how do you see Spurs going on from here? Because everyone I think saw Newcastle result and were like, these guys are bottle jobs, these guys are frauds. Daniel Levy, all the rest of it. Um, and there's still really some uncertainty of who's going to, because obviously Ryan Mason's not going to be the manager for Spurs going forward. We assume
Yes,
so. So
correct.
how do you see Spurs going forward? Obviously for the rest of the season and then the following season, is there a particular manager who you think should come to Spurs, who you think can fix the situation, or do you think this is just above players and manager, and this is more of like a upper tier management
Yeah.
thing?
So I don't want to put out individual names because I think the board itself needs a change.
Mm-hmm.
But by the way, just to restate what you said about the bottle jobs, I think a new club has a new name, Bottle Jobs, and that's Arsenal. Could have won the league, bottled it, absolute,
Oh yes,
just terrible. Brilliant.
that's true.
Arsenal finished,
That's true.
Bottle Jobs. But look, I'll be completely honest with you. We're playing Aston Villa. We're playing Liverpool. And yes, you're only 6 points ahead of us. Yes, you've got good goal difference. Yes, you have 2 games in hand over us. We are finishing like seventh. We are going to finish seventh, sixth, seventh. That's where I'm putting ourselves. I really don't see ourselves. We are gonna get a couple draws here and there, and I think Ryan Mason's just gonna stabilize the situation because right now it's just going down. It's literally going down. Like I'm waiting for a defeat worse than 6-1. And Liverpool is. I'm scared for Liverpool. It can be 7. It could be 8. If you lot lost 7 and you were on a decent, you weren't on a terrible period, we're gonna
Mm.
lose 14. We're gonna lose 20. We're gonna be finished. I mean, our team's gonna be completely gone. I mean, flipping Kane's not even gonna want to stay here anymore. I mean, I think Ryan Mason's going to want to stabilize the situation,
Mm.
give players, which is important, give players time which they need because, for example, Pape Matar hasn't gotten any game time so far this season. He's barely gotten any game time. And, playing 3 in the midfield is what all us fans want. And I think Ryan Mason's going to be able to stabilize the whole fan situation because he understands it from a fan's point of view. And I think we're going to finish
Mm.
around 6th, 7th, somewhere like that. No,
Mm.
don't worry. We ain't going to compete for the top 4. Don't worry. You don't worry. Don't worry.
So last question before I go into the comments. Who do
Sure.
you want? Because obviously, Pochettino, it seems looks like he's going. I know there were a lot of Spurs fans that were considering Pochettino coming back to Spurs. He looks
Yeah.
like he's going to Chelsea. Is there someone in particular that you're wanting? Wanting to come to Spurs. Like, who's your kind of who do you want Lever to go after?
Okay, so hang on, give me a second. Okay, so the one I want to go for, and this is based on if we do keep on playing a 5 next season, is
Mhm.
Sporting Lisbon's manager, Ruben Amorim. I think
Okay.
I think he's a fantastic manager. Um,
Mhm.
tactically he likes to get he likes to get the youth involved. I think I would like to say we've got okay youth, and obviously that's going to be a very, very hard option to get, because he's tied with Sporting Lisbon and he's not really on a move anywhere. But if I was to really go realistically for a manager, it would probably be Company. I mean, I don't see Nagelsmann
Interesting.
joining us due to just the finance. I mean, I don't know if you heard, but we're going to have to pay the 10.6 million quid he's getting at Bayern Munich for next 3 seasons, plus his wages, which is going to be a fortune for us, especially when we've got owners who ain't want to spend, like they don't want to spend no money. So that's why I don't want to get Nagelsmann in. But I'd love to have Nagelsmann, not if we have to pay his salary, but I think Company with his mentality can hopefully shift the mentality. And it's not someone who is bigger than the club, because Conte is a big manager. He's bigger than Tottenham.
Yeah.
You've got Mourinho, who's a big manager. He's bigger than Tottenham. Company is a huge player, but he ain't bigger than Tottenham. And that's what I don't like. I don't like these type of people who think they're bigger than the club. That's why, for example, I think you lot appointing what's his name again? Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag, yeah. Appointing Eric Ten Hag is a fantastic appointment in my opinion, because he's not bigger than United, and to get someone bigger than United would probably be Antonio Conte, and I don't think Conte would have been a good signing for you lot. I think Eric Ten Hag is a brilliant appointment from you lot. And so that's why I'm saying Company, because I feel like his mentality can hopefully shift it. He knows what it's like to be in this kind of position, not necessarily, but in this kind of position in terms of wanting to win trophies and winning trophies. And yeah, so I believe if Company does join Tottenham Hotspur, it will change Tottenham Hotspur a mentality. Maybe a couple players here and there will have to be signed or be sold, but I think that the biggest change for Tottenham Hotspur, if Company does join, is that mentality switch and tactical approach to the game. We see Burnley playing unbelievable football right now in the Championship. Although it is Championship, I think it's brilliant football. Being promoted now to the Premier League, he does want to stay at Burnley, but if he does come to Tottenham Hotspur, it'll be a brilliant appointment from Tottenham Hotspur, in my opinion.
That's fair. So I have to switch my camera because my computer's having some issues. So I apologize.
All good.
Let me just give you some comments. I think Christian actually has a comment for you. Says, "Hello, Spurs fan. Kane and Son, amazing players. What? Oh, wow! Literally answered that question. So I've just seen that. So thanks." Eddie in the chat has said, "Big up us as usual, RDS, and good evening, AD. Bottling 2-0 leads there. Hope we are not following the Arsenal blueprint. I hope not too." Christian says in the chat, says Man United needs to clean house and get some reinforcements. Well, that will be depending on the owners, obviously, that are coming into Manchester United. Spurs don't deserve European football. They're atrocious. Brighton, Villa, Liverpool all deserve it more. Mo says, I'm not one to praise the opposition, but that second half from Kane was unbelievable. Took us to score. I mean, just speaking on Kane here for 1 second. Also, and Christian says Moses or McAllister. That's actually a good question, actually. I'll ask AD that, actually. Do you think that Kane is going to stay with Spurs this season, or do you think he's going?
I think I think he's going to stay. I think he's going to stay, and I think next season's going to go on a free. The only reason why I say that is because, in my opinion, it will be a bit stupid for United to buy him now, when they can potentially go for Osimhen. I know Harry Kane's a way better striker than Osimhen, but I feel like if you guys can even just attempt to sell Osimhen or get a strike in the meantime, because you'd rather spend that 100 and something mil next season for a much better, maybe I'm just saying, maybe I don't know, but I don't know what's going on with United right now, but I feel like a defender is needed a defender, maybe a squad depth centre back, potentially a midfield, an extra midfield in that. You got Eriksen, you got Casemiro, you got Sabitzer, fair enough, and maybe an attacker. You never know. You can get another attacker, Osimhen, maybe, like I said, or there's plenty of attackers out there that you lot can get. I mean, I think that's a wise decision.
I think the thing is, and sorry to interrupt you, Josh, I think the thing is that there are a lot of teams around Europe this season that are desperate for strikers. You look at Chelsea. Chelsea are probably going to go in for a striker. United need a striker. Bayern Munich, need a striker. So there's so many big clubs that need a striker this year, and there's so few strikers available. Oh, AD. See you in a bit then. See you in a bit, Eddie. See you in a bit. Thanks for coming on the show. See you in a bit, AD. So there's so many clubs in Europe that I think need a top quality striker. Yeah, how many top quality strikers are there are going to be available that aren't going to cost that amount? Obviously, Osimhen is at Napoli.
What about
He's
Dusan
only
Vlahovic? Have you thought about that? Maybe Dusan Vlahovic. I'm just putting it out there.
Dusan Vlahovic is interesting because I think a lot. He might be available. It really depends on Juventus's situation. I think, and with the whole points and Champions League football and stuff, I think if Juventus are somehow able to get Champions League football, I think that will give Juventus a lot of bargaining power in terms of what they can charge. But I think if they don't, then yes, you're right. Then he's possibly an option. You have obviously the Benfica striker. I think it's Ramos. I think who's
Ramos,
quite
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Azar Ramos.
Azar Ramos, yes, exactly. So there are options there, but it's just that and maybe there's a hidden gem somewhere that people obviously.
Oh, guys,
sorry
to
Eddie,
interrupt. There's a striker at Feyenoord. His name is Santiago Jimenez. He's been like amazing for Feyenoord. So Feyenoord may win the league title. So they might sell him this summer.
Yep, that's fair. And obviously with a Dutch connection with Ten Hag, that's a possibility as well. But yeah, as we just sort of begin to round up, I mean, just AD, before we head off, just final thoughts on, would you say that despite this result, that United are fairly, well, two questions. Do you think United are fairly, should still get top four? And two, if that happens, how would you rate Ten Hag's first season overall as United manager?
Yeah. I think you guys are in a good position. Because like I said, the thing is like I just feel like you guys will be consistent enough. And the thing is like with other teams that you guys can continue to draw points, but is there like a guarantee like the other teams around like Villa, Aston Villa, Liverpool wins all their remaining games? Like I just don't see all that really happening. So I feel like United should be in good position. That being said, it's not a guarantee, obviously, and the goal difference may be an issue because United's goal difference is pretty bad. +9 goal difference compared to the other teams, like 40, 53, 32. So
it's pretty. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I'm looking aside from Liverpool who have 22. I mean, Brighton 15. Everyone else is. I mean, Villa's is 5, Spurs is 7, United's 9, Brentford is 7, Fulham only have 1. I mean, Chelsea owe the Premier League 5 goals. Chelsea own the Premier League 5 goals. They owe the Premier League 5 goals, man. I mean,
they're rubbish this season.
Oh man.
I mean, I mean, they play Arsenal and at the Emirates, and I actually think they'll still lose that game because Arsenal probably baying for blood, and Bournemouth could be above Chelsea by the end of the season, man. It's that bad. It's that bad that Bournemouth could actually.
Would you be surprised though? Honestly, would you be that surprised? They're terrible this season.
Well, they have the worst. I'm looking at it. They actually have the worst form in the. They have the worst.
Wait, even better
in the league.
Even Southampton have better.
Okay, Southampton. So they got a draw. So what did Chelsea? Let's have a look. Yeah, they've got the same form as Southampton in bottom. Man, that's bad. That's bad.
God.
That's bad. That's actually really. I say this before. I'm like, Todd Bowley actually was good for Tuchel, man. Because if Tuchel had not, if he sacked Tuchel at the beginning of the season, put Potter in, Chelsea legit could be in a relegation battle. They legitimately could have been in a relegation battle. United should save Kane from Spurs, says Antonio. Big up, says Albert. How you doing, buddy? Ten Hag outlaw. Yes, of course. Like, don't just wait for that Qatari money. Hopefully, that's my only hope. Waiting for the Qatari money. Our game was bad, but I'm not panicking. Yeah, exactly. I just, to be honest, the most important thing, and I've been saying, I think I've come and put my camera back on now. For me, the most important thing actually is what's going to happen to the United ownership. That is the most important thing. Because if the Glazers stay, then in my opinion, I just think we're going to just continue the same cycle. He'll start okay, second season might see some improvement, and third season will just drop off. And the cycle repeat itself because we don't have money to improve the stadium. We don't have money for really long-term transfers. So really, there needs to be a change in management. if it's the gym and the Glazers, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. So in my mind, either Sajim has to have full control or the Qatars have to have full control. Someone has to remove control from the Glazers and start investing in the squad and also the stadium. If that happens, okay, the future's bright for United. If that doesn't happen, to be honest, even if we do well in quote this season, I know that long term it's not going to be sustainable because it hasn't been in the past. Also, Kane disappeared in another big game today. Oh, that's a bit harsh.
What?
The second half, Kane was actually.
Mate. What are you on about? What are you on about? Does he realize that Kane carried Tottenham Hotspur today? I don't think he realized that. Sorry, go on, continue.
Yeah, he got an assist, right?
Yeah, he had the assist, and I think he improved. And if we do get Kane, we'd have to get Rashford consistently firing in big games. In the first half, I'd agree with you. In the first half, I agree with you, but in the second half, I did think Kane stepped up quite a bit, and that assist obviously to Son to score. Which again, for those who are criticizing Wan-Bissaka, it was like, oh, Wan-Bissaka's having a good. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka didn't have a great game, but he's still one of the best 1v1 defenders on the planet. You still have to go past him and take a touch and whatever. Dalot got schooled by Son there. He got schooled by Son.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say, this is what I've been saying on my stream personally. I feel like this season, a lot of people have just haven't been crediting Kane enough this season. I mean, we're talking about a player who's carrying Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, literally carrying Tottenham Hotspur. We're talking about the second, Harry Kane, second to, well, obviously Haaland's the number one goal scorer. Wow. English Premier League, but Harry Kane comes short in second. Pardon?
He's got 24 goals. Sorry to interrupt.
24 goals. No, 24 goals. We're talking about crucial goals for Tottenham Hotspur. We're sitting fifth. Where are we sitting? Sixth or fifth? Sixth, I think. We're sitting sixth. That's sorry. No, we're sitting fifth right now. Sorry, fifth. We're sitting fifth right now. Tottenham Hotspur, who has been so bad this season. I mean, Harry Kane is literally carried. We're talking about a player who's carried Tottenham Hotspur through when the goalkeeper has been terrible. Our whole, you guys are United fans. Hugo Lloris, terrible. Dyer, terrible. Lenglet, terrible. Højbjerg and Skip being absolutely horrific this season. You got Kulusevski who's not been on his game. Son has not been on his game. Richarlison, Danjuma, pointless signings. Perisic, awful. Pedro Porro, since joining us, has not been amazing. How many players in Tottenham Hotspur's starting 11 can you say had a good season? How many? I can name you one. Harry Kane. That's it. Romero hasn't had a good season. He's been okay. He's been decent. He's not had a good season. People are not crediting Kane enough this season. And fair enough, Rashford's been doing amazing. Fair enough, Haaland's been doing amazing. But what about Kane? Are you mad? People are mad here, honestly.
I think in fairness to people, I think it's just that. I think, to be honest, it's because before Haaland came to the league, Harry Kane was the kind of your striker, number 9 consistent go-to thing. Haaland in one scene has just basically just almost like destroyed. I don't want to say destroyed what Kane has achieved, but I mean he has been so prolific and so on it that it's like he's like it's almost like a completely different level. And I appreciate that he's with City and Pep. So I think some of that is because of how good Haaland has been and his goals, etc., and the fact that potentially City could win a treble, it's difficult to really credit Kane much unless like obviously some people are saying that Kane obviously goes to a United or Chelsea or something along those lines.
But why? Sorry. I understand the trophies come into play here, but why? Doesn't it make more sense to stay at Tottenham Hotspur and be the best player at Tottenham Hotspur right now, carrying Tottenham Hotspur, than to be at United? And winning trophy, but you're surrounded by insane players. You're surrounded by unbelievable players, creative players.
I was going to ask you that because I think that I don't know if I read. I think there's just a tweet just come now that. Because there were talks or theories that potentially Pochettino going to Chelsea And we know Chelsea can. If there's a club that is can spend 120, 150, it's Chelsea. So if money's a thing, they can spend whatever. Like so money's not going to be a thing for Chelsea. But with Pochettino coming, and there's talks that could be a complication. How would you feel if Kane ended up being at Chelsea next season?
Disgusted. It will honestly break my heart. I will be disgusted if that goes. And you know what? Thank God I wasn't here, and well, I wasn't a mad Spurs supporter when Sol Campbell went. But I mean, at least I didn't know about it. But if Kane moves to Chelsea, it 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 will probably destroy this club, in terms of its youth,
Mhm.
in terms of its belief, in terms of its
Mm,
fans.
mm.
I for one will show completely zero respect for Harry Kane. Everything that I say about Harry Kane will go back, and it's just disgusting to even see it. Imagine me saying to you, oh, Bruno, no, flipping David De Gea goes to Man
Liverpool.
City or Liverpool. Yeah,
I
imagine
mean,
me.
some United fans may like that, given that they hate De Gea recently. But go on.
Yeah,
Go on.
but
So,
I mean,
so, so maybe
yeah,
Carlos Tevez.
it would have been like Ronaldo before his interview going to Liverpool. That's probably the equivalent.
exactly. How horrible was it? And look, I'm right now in this point of mine. I'm saying to myself, yeah, Pochettino, good for him. He's going to Chelsea. Good for him. In terms of a club point of view, I'm upset. I'm very upset. I'm pissed off right now that Tottenham didn't even make an approach to sign Pochettino. But good for him. He's going to Chelsea. I'm still disgusted by the looks of seeing Chelsea and no, absolutely not. But it's disgusting to see that. But now having Harry Kane, oh, if Harry Kane goes, I don't even know what I would do. I would be livid. I'd be pissed off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Kane will do it though. Like
He
I
will
don't know.
not. He will not. He
Yeah.
has too much loyalty. He has
Well,
too much loyalty.
well, the thing is, you say I don't think. I don't know. It's just the thing. Nothing. I'm not. When money is given,
Yeah.
then and the thing is it's like, and that's the key thing. It's kind of like it's the resolve, because pre Todd B, I'd have been like, okay, yeah, whatever, probably not. But given that fact I've seen from this
Todd B,
this
yeah.
ownership, that they're like, we'll pay whatever. Like how are you testing? Because you're testing Daniel Levy's resolve here, because as you rightfully said, Kane will be going into his final year and potentially going on a free, and Todd B, like, okay, we'll throw him 100 mil. Okay,
How would the
120.
Chelsea fans feel about this?
Oh, Chelsea fans would be gassed. About Chelsea fans would be gassed
Yeah,
with
they'd
this.
be gassed. They'd be gassed because
If they get Harry Kane, are you mad? They get Harry Kane. They're living their time. Honestly, they're living. Harry Kane drops deep whilst Raheem Sterling. Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable to
Yeah,
watch.
Kane would
Honestly,
actually be amazing for Chelsea.
they might.
Unbelievable.
Imagine if they do a number 9 swap with money. They sell the Lukaku goes to Spurs,
Oh
Who?
no.
Kane goes to Chelsea, and obviously
Oh my
with money,
God.
obviously. So they probably add, like, let's say you can have Lukaku. They'll probably start of that. Will say you can have Lukaku plus,
Nah,
let's
nah,
say
nah, nah,
70,
nah.
75
think
You
someone
mil.
works
guys
on
are
it.
losing it right now.
75 mil.
No chance. No
You
chance.
say that, but that's how they started the
Look,
negotiations with
yeah.
what's his name, Enzo with at Benfica. Like,
I
how
mean,
did
it could happen, but it's very
Yeah, but
unlikely. Let's put it this way.
I feel like this is in a complete different situation. I feel like right now we're talking about two clubs who are right now in a similar situation. We're both struggling right now, and the hate between Tottenham and Chelsea is
They're also old rivals.
it's crazy. It's
Mm.
absolutely crazy. You guys don't understand from a Tottenham point of view, just like I don't understand from a United point of view, but from a Tottenham point of view, to even be mentioning Chelsea and Harry Kane in the same sentence is just
Mm.
it should be illegal. Honestly, it should be
Yeah,
illegal to mention it. I mean,
yeah.
it's that bad. But it is what it is. You're right. We are in a situation. We're in a time of where money can talk, and the question is, how far will Levy how far will owners go in terms of the spend for Harry Kane? Will the owners go and stop at 80 mil? Will they stop at 120 mil? Will they stop at 180 mil? And how far and how much do they need to push Daniel Levy until Daniel Levy accepts? Because Daniel Levy isn't going to accept until it's maximum
Yeah,
bid.
exactly.
I mean, he's not going to let Kane go for free. At all. So if he can get some money, he will get the money, but it has to be the amount of money for the transfer to go through.
Of course,
Yeah.
but it's also, that's also balancing obviously the fact that like if he's going to his final year of his contract, then this is kind of like the last summer where he can get something, get a maximum.
When does the contract
So
expire?
I think
Pardon?
it's next. It's
Yeah.
his contract. It's next. It's
Next year, yeah.
yeah, 2024. Yeah, so it'll be
Oh,
like June 2024. So it's like,
this is the
you
last
know,
chance.
it's a balance. It's kind of like, do you want to? Because for me, it never makes sense. No matter how good a player is, it never makes sense to me to let, because it's kind of like it's like with Pogba. I'd have been like, right, United try and stop focusing on game on a contract, sell him for 50 something, get some money back from the player, which team an adequate replacement. You know, it never makes sense to me where owners go, this is an asset that's arguably worth, especially in this summer when so many teams need strikers. Okay, if he's not going to sign a new contract, you say, right, okay, I'm going to take 100, 120 mil, 150, whatever, 150 mil, and then I can go, potentially, I can even use that to buy Osimhen from Napoli. I can use it to buy, a Ramos Savic, maybe even two strikers potentially.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do
But
that. I'm
yeah.
going to just let this contract run expire, and then he goes, and then what likely will happen is go, Spurs fans, we don't actually have enough money to buy a replacement, so we're going to use Eric Dyer to place number 9 or something like
God
that.
forbid, God forbid, God forbid. Honestly, God forbid. No, but look. This one point I want to make clear is that as a Tottenham point of view, we
Yeah.
don't know how. As I have around a feeling how much Harry Kane. We don't know how much you want Harry Kane. You could want the Glazers or Eric Ten Hag could want Harry Kane and values Harry Kane at around 180 mil. Same with Tottenham. Daniel Levy, for us, Harry Kane is worth probably 200 mil. Harry Kane is worth for us 200 mil personally. But the fact is that you lot aren't going to spend 200 mil on Harry Kane, for sure not. And it's all about how much the player is worth for the club, because the player could be worth on the market for a certain amount of money, but it's not necessarily for the club. Therefore, you see Levy always upping up the price due to how much Harry Kane's worth for us. Right now, Harry Kane for us is worth 200 mil, because we are going to go down. If it wasn't for Harry Kane, we'll probably be sitting below Chelsea right now. We are in the lowest point of a Spurs life, a Spurs career right now. We're so low, and going into the transfer window now, where you lot are going to want to cash in on a striker, you have to think you have to think as if you're the owners of the striker you want to get, and you have to say to yourself, okay, how much is this striker worth to the club? How much is he? Because footballing wise, and what's the word? Physically and what's the word? Footballing wise, I guess the player could be worth 80 mil, but for you lot, he could be worth 100 mil. So go for it. But it's up to you lot, honestly, again, if you guys do go for the Harry Kane big money or if you don't. But I think if you do get Harry Kane, I did say this about Ronaldo, and I'm going to say this about Harry Kane, you will win the league. Honestly, I'm confident about it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Enough. Well, let me get into round things. I'm just got some comments in. Josh,
There's some
Josh,
mad
do you have a
comments in
channel,
there, by the way.
Well,
Mad comments.
let's.
I mean, I don't even I honestly, these are mad comments. I
Would
mean,
you take Son, says Albert? No, not because I don't think Son is a bad player, but because it's not what United need right now. United need a proper number 9. They probably need some midfielders and a defender. Like Son isn't really what United need right now, so I wouldn't take it.
I would take
even
him.
though I think
tell me something.
you take him at Barcelona.
Yeah, because we don't. Our wingers are bad. Our wingers are bad.
Yeah.
Can you
So
put
yeah,
up the
you're saying
comment
that,
of Can you put the comment up on Mo Wada, the carry Spurs?
right?
Yeah.
Well, there's Carry Spurs in relation to Harry Kane. Carry Spurs to Kane. So
This
what's your
needs some explanation. I don't think people understand what carry means. Carry doesn't mean you carry someone to a trophy or to a trophy. Yeah,
Yeah.
carry Spurs is helping them not fall down. Yeah, just so we get the definition of carry. Yeah, carry means lifting up.
Saving.
It means saving. Carry when you carry a child, yeah, or carry someone, you're holding him so he doesn't fall down, yeah. Just so the definition for everyone out there, yeah. Harry Kane is carrying Tottenham so they don't go to 17th, 16th, 15th, yeah. So don't
Mm,
tell me and talk to me about carry to what exactly, yeah. There's nothing to
mm,
carry Tottenham to. We all know this, yeah. So shut up. We all know this. I mean, guys, we all know that to carry Tottenham to what? We all know that Tottenham aren't going to win a trophy, yeah. Banter, all that, yeah. But it is what it is. Kane does carry Tottenham for the
Yeah.
past years.
Kane is
Facts.
proper Spurs.
all right.
Yeah.
Haaland is gonna take Kane's. I mean,
If he stays in the Premier League, if he stays in the Premier
if he
League,
stays in the Premier League, if he stays in the Premier League,
two
I
years is a
think
bit
it's
too short,
fairly,
by the way. But yeah, go on.
yeah. But at his age, and because Haaland is what he's, I
He's
don't,
20 something.
he
I
can't
think
be
he's like
more
21,
than
right?
25. He can't
I
be
think
more
he's
than
He's
25.
he's 22.
22.
Yeah,
Wow. Jeez.
Unbelievable.
right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, even if he stays in the Premier League for like 3 or 4 years, like it's
Yeah,
over, man.
3 or 4 years, fair enough. I don't think two
Yeah,
years is a bit too short. 2 years is
Yeah,
a bit
2
too
is too
short.
yeah,
short.
22 years, assuming that he doesn't obviously pick up a major injury or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
assuming.
Haaland is if City win the treble, it'll be because of him, man.
Yeah,
The
for
goals,
sure.
among goals he's conceding. That's what
Never
I was
seen a
trying to
goal
say.
instinct
Mm.
as good as him. I've never seen it. Never seen. Unbelievable.
Wish Kane went to City. He done more damage. He done more damage
Nope.
than Haaland. Do you mean
No.
in terms of like he would he would have screwed over City more or not? I actually think that Kane would have been. I actually think, ironic enough, I think that Kane actually would have suited Pep's system more than Haaland does because Haaland, even though he's improved his football fundamentals a bit since he's gone to
Yeah,
City,
City.
at the end of the day, he is a goal poacher.
Yeah.
That's what Haaland is. So like you're not going to get much out from Wood, but at least with Kane, I think that with the way that Pep plays, especially with the link-up play and all the rest of it, he would have been far more effective in Pep's system than I think Haaland is. But it doesn't matter because
Yeah.
Haaland's
No.
scoring goals.
I,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I slightly disagree with that, just simply because I feel like De Bruyne is a creative midfielder there, and Kane, his whole point of the whole Kane, why Kane is so amazing, is because he drops deep to create things. Yeah, because Kevin De Bruyne creates the things, you just need someone to finish it, and I think
Yeah.
Kane is one of the best in the world, but
Mm,
Haaland is poof. Haaland
mm.
is miles. He's not miles above, but he's pretty good.
I want to ask you
He's
this.
pretty
I
good.
want to ask you a question.
Go for it.
So where do you think, like, let's say if Kane does leave, where do you think, which club do you think he would be best? Which club do you think Kane would best work at? Like,
Best, I've said it. Best is Man United for sure. For sure, Man United.
okay,
But if it's not Man United, oh yeah, Man United. Let's stop there.
okay.
Man United. I ain't
Because
going into
I've seen
any.
some links to Bayern actually. I've heard
I've
some
also
links.
seen some links to Bayern, and I don't see the
Yeah,
point of going to Bayern. It's
I would.
absolutely pathetic.
I would love. Really, I think the
Absolutely.
Bayern, but as a Bayern needed number 9, and as
Yeah,
a
I would like to see him
replacement
at
for
Bayern personally.
Lewandowski, I don't know.
Why?
I think that
Why?
I could
Sorry.
see.
Yeah, but what's the difference though? If Kane goes to Bayern, what difference does he make to Bayern? Bayern still win the Bundesliga every year, and he'll have a chance to win the Champions League. He'll have a just amount of chance of winning the
Whoa,
Champions League as United will have the win to as United will have the chance to win
whoa!
the Champions League.
I think you would what you're saying would have been right last year,
Yeah,
but this year, having watched Bayern quite a bit this year, it's painfully obvious that they need a striker number 9. And to be
Yeah,
honest, even now, like Dortmund Dortmund are currently top of the league. Like, there's quite a possible chance that Bayern Munich could go trophyless this season for the first time in, I don't know, when
20
was the last
something. Yeah.
time? It must be 20 something years. So I think that, and why I say I think that Bayern are going to potentially go all out for Kane in the summer is that if that does happen, they know 100% for a fact that it's
yeah,
because they don't have a number 9 and they will not want to repeat that failure this season, having lost the Bundesliga to Dortmund, being battered by City. They were knocked out of the German Cup by some, I don't know,
Freiburg.
second division team. Sorry,
It was
it's Freiburg. Yeah, sorry. So, if anything, I actually think that Bayern Munich will be far more aggressive in the summer at getting Kane than even United or possibly even, other teams.
My
But
only
we'll see.
concern is that, sorry to interrupt. My only issue, the only issue is that I just don't really see Bayern spending a lot of money on one player. They usually don't do that.
That is true.
You know?
That is true. That's true.
That's the
So,
only thing
but
I'll say. But
I guess I feel that if they go trophyless this season, surely they're going to have to be like, right, we have to open up the pocketbooks because we can't be in a situation where we go. But anyway, that's fine. So let me just begin to just run them up. So, Josh, remind me, Josh, do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's called Spurs Live. We are
I might check it
exactly
out.
10 away from 1K.
Oh wow.
Yes, guys. Okay, yes. So big up. So rounding off, please, Josh, just speak about your channel, where they can find you, basically.
Well, you guys can find me on main platform is Instagram. We are just short of 14K. We are just climbing slowly. And we are starting to upload regularly on YouTube. Spurs Live, 10 away from 1,000 subscribers. You can find us on TikTok. We just hit 1,000 followers, and you can find us on Twitter as well, with over 300 followers. Just trying to grow a little bit more as much as I can. But main focus right now is trying to get that YouTube channel to 1K. So as of now, we are exactly 11 away from 1K.
Cool. Yeah. So guys, head over to Spurs Live
leave a
on
link in the
YouTube.
chat.
Oh yes, that's good. Yeah, I'll post the links. If you click link in the private chat, I'll post the link in the chat. And AD, obviously, big up your channel as well.
Yeah. You guys can find me at 80 and I recently did a video on my channel going over the top 5 leagues and going over everything. So it was a pretty long video, so I recommend you guys check it out. And obviously on Twitter, you guys can find me at arpon.744. So yeah, at 80s144 my YouTube channel. Thank you for having me on RDS.
No, awesome. So make sure you guys check out those wonderful channels. I'll quickly just post Josh's link in the chat. Get them to 1K, guys, on YouTube. I know how difficult that is. Just post it there.
Cheers, lads.
Final
Cheers.
comment. No, get you to 1K, man. Albert says, if and when Kane decides to retire, should he just change his game, become a goalkeeper? He's done it before, like Walker. When did this happen?
Yeah, it happened. He did a Carrius, and good joke, mate. Good joke. Fantastic, amazing. I'm cracking up. Look at me. I've got tears from how funny that was.
At the same time, Albert says, I don't know any Spurs content makers, so I'll follow. So there you go. You got an extra follow there. There you go.
I appreciate it, my guy. Thank you.
There you go. Exactly. So banter aside, good on the support. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Social United and smash the notification button, Manchester United, and more. Have a nice day, everyone. Take care, everybody, and cheers. Peace.